Hey everyone, it is Stacy Santiago and I am here with the amazing Emily, and we want to share a cool story with you today. I know that it's really tough when you're in a dark place and you're thinking, how the heck am I going to get past these fears and these challenges of moving into this unknown space, this new career journey? How could I actually make a leap and do something that I love? And Emily has done exactly that. And so we want to share her story with you. So, hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's just jump right in then. And tell me about before you started coaching, what was going on in your life and career? What were some of those pain points and challenges?
Well, I had been in the veterinary field for about 5 years. I thought it was a career that I was going to be in forever. But I came to a point where I was extremely burnt out. So I just needed a job, any job, just to get me out of there. I ended up taking a job in teleradiology, which, used all my medical skills, was great. It's a part of my passion. I enjoyed radiology, but I knew it wasn't going to be my forever home. So I promised myself it would be a 1 year thing. It would be totally temporary while I pursued something in events, like event planning, event design. But after a year, and then I went to 2 years, I just ended up becoming stuck and I was completely unmotivated. Because I worked from home, it was easy to get settled in that career because it was so easy. Um, I am a procrastinating perfectionist. So whenever I wanted to push forward and pursue event planning, I would always get in my own head and worry that I would take on too many responsibilities or I'd disappoint somebody or I would fail. I wouldn't be perfect. So instead of doing anything, I did nothing. And besides my perfectionist nature, I was constantly tired with my job, being that I worked nights and I worked weekends. I was exhausted all the time. So I had little motivation to do anything on my days off. And because I couldn't get weekends off, I couldn't really volunteer at events, which is usually when they were happening. So it was just kind of a vicious cycle of being a perfectionist, having no motivation, having a job that wouldn't give me any freedom. And I just got stuck.
Yeah. And what was the worst part about being stuck in that job for you?
Because I didn't recognize myself. Like, I have always been a very driven, motivated person, and I wasn't that anymore. I had no motivation. I wasn't driven. I was completely lost. So it was kind of a loss of identity. I just got disconnected from who I was on the inside.
Mm-hmm. What did you find that was costing you in these other areas of life?
Overall, like in summary, it was just my health and my happiness. Um, as far as my health, I had gained 30 pounds. I've never gained weight in my entire life. So that's a total hit to your confidence. It's like I internally don't feel like myself and externally don't look like myself anymore.
Mm.
Um, I started to develop heart palpitations out of nowhere, which they're very uncomfortable to have. And it's scary when you're presented with this and you've never had any health issues in your life. Um, and then as far as my happiness, like I was just a hermit. Being that I worked from home, I didn't leave the house a lot. I didn't really socialize with anybody because I was home all the time. And my boyfriend and I we couldn't connect anymore. I was constantly working. I could never get time off. So we couldn't even go out on dates together. I couldn't go to family functions. I couldn't hang out with friends, like friends gatherings. And he always felt super alone going by himself, but I couldn't go. I didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm. How did you know, Emily, that you just hit break point, that you couldn't do it anymore?
Oh gosh. So I was talking to my boyfriend one day and he was talking about when we first started dating. And he talked about me in the past tense, like how I used to be, how I used to sound, who I was. And I was like, I'm not dead. It felt like I was dead, the person he was talking about. And it was a reality check moment for me because I knew that I didn't feel like myself, but hearing it come from someone else really made me realize it was time that I needed to make a change because it clearly wasn't sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was robbing you of every aspect of life, every aspect of joy and health and connection, love, and you definitely were not having any fun or freedom.
No, none of that.
Yeah. So, what was the tipping point for you? Because I know that this was, a tough decision for you
Mhm.
to decide that your dream was going to be bigger than your fear and you were going to get the help. So, what was it for you in that moment where you were able to overcome your fear of doing this work and getting the help to make a change?
Um, I mean, in terms of the coaching,
Mm-hmm.
I asked myself, yes, it was a big struggle for me to make that financial investment. That was the biggest hurdle for me. But the question I asked myself was, how much is my happiness worth? Like, I cried and cried and cried. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, I just missed a huge opportunity. I feel like I just closed a door that I should have walked through. But yeah, the question was, how much is your happiness worth, Emily? And for me, it was like a no brainer. I mean, my happiness is worth whatever dollar amount because it's my happiness, it's my life. So that was my tipping point question.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that point where you stepped into your higher self, that best self,
Yeah.
were courageous enough to say, you know what? I created this and I'm going to own it. It's my time to fix it.
hmm
I love that. Okay, so then tell me about your journey through this work. I mean, what kinds of things did you discover along the way?
Well, my biggest discovery, which was a total epiphany moment, was that I was being a victim to my circumstances. And I was in a total victim mentality, which is the polar opposite of who I am. I was letting my circumstances control me, control my reactions. I just literally didn't take any control of the situation. So through coaching, just like taking the steps every week to do the tasks, do the assignments, and making time for those assignments, just prioritizing them, helped me realize that I'm in control of my life. Like, I'm in control of what I do in a day, what I don't do, what affects me, what I allow to affect me. So literally getting control back of my life is the biggest thing that I took from the course.
Mm. What were some of the shifts you started to notice in yourself along the way?
Well, mostly to-do lists. I'm a big list person. So I can have a list of 20 things on a given weekend. And instead of looking at that list and just picking through and doing things, I'm able to prioritize it now and do the things that matter the most and not get mad at myself for not accomplishing everything. So not being perfect. Still working on my perfectionism. But yeah, that's the biggest thing because it always made me feel overwhelmed and defeated every time I wouldn't get a list done. And now it's like, no, no, you got the important things done on that list. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you notice shifts too, just in the way that you were using language about
Oh, yeah.
yourself, right?
hmm Yeah, can't versus won't.
Mhm.
That was huge because can't is I give up, won't is I'm choosing not to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see how you rewired the way that you made meaning for yourself and in your life. And I bet that was part of that. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm back in the driver's seat now. This is where I want
Yeah.
to be, in the way that you were able to change your perspective and the meaning that you were making. And how
Mhm.
significant was that for you?
Oh, super significant. So now I catch myself still saying can't, and then I think about it and I'm like, no, it's not a can't, it's a won't, Emily. Like, it's not I can't go to spin class tonight because I'm tired. It's I won't go to spin class tonight because I'm tired. And then just saying that alone, it's like, go. What are you doing? It's your choice. Go. You want to go. So yeah, it's crazy how one word changes your mindset. It's so simple.
Yeah. Well, and even in the beginning too, where people get locked into, I can't invest in myself. I
Yeah.
can't make this change.
Yeah.
I can't have a life and a career that I love. it's a bunch of BS, right? And just like you're illustrating, you can. It's a choice.
Yeah.
How much suffering are you going to take before you make that choice?
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me about the outcomes. What were the things that you gained from going through this?
Well, I have an awesome resume now, just saying. I'm super proud of it, and I'm not intimidated by writing new bullet points. It's always something I've struggled with. And then my cover letter, I have a great template that I can reference and go back to. Obviously, I can see all the courses for life. So if I get stuck or have a question, I can always refer to that. I have my confidence back, not only like personally, but in changing my career and doing that huge career shift. My health is fantastic. I don't have any more heart palpitations, so now I can drink coffee again, which is a win for me because I like coffee. And my boyfriend and I are doing fantastic. We are actually able to go on date nights now, and I can hang out with friends, and I'm present. I'm not tired, so I'm present in all the conversations we have. And something I didn't talk about was my boyfriend and I had gone through a couples therapy during the process, and there were days that it didn't seem like it was gonna ever end, but it finally, like, we went through and we did it and we're done. Like, we don't need to do it anymore. It was a huge accomplishment for our relationship. So those
I
are my
love
wins.
that. That's amazing. And you're out there. I know you shared you're riding bikes and you're
Mhm.
just going out, seeing, sunlight and doing
Yeah.
hobbies and really pushing yourself to those boundaries of new achievements for you.
Yeah, and I'm just doing things that, make me nervous. So, which is
Mhm.
great.
Well, and tell us about the big shift too, because we haven't specifically talked about this, right? It's like, oh, let's do the big reveal here. So, as you said in the beginning, you were doing radiology tech work, right? And
Mhm.
tell me about what you discovered it truly is that you're passionate about, and what is it you're doing now?
Well, I love designing things. Like, I like working with my hands. I've always found that I've worked with my hands in building stuff. But I also enjoy being around people. I never considered myself a people person, but I truly am a people person. So now I took a seasonal job doing design work for commercial businesses, installing Christmas decor. So yeah, that was a scary risk because I was looking for something full time, consistent, but this job popped up and I was like, oh, I'll give it a chance. And it's been the best decision. Like, I don't even care that it's seasonal anymore because the amount of knowledge I've learned and experience I've gained and the people I've met who I've been able to learn from has been absolutely worth it. So I'm using this as a stepping stone into event design and production.
Wow. Okay. And so I want to make sure this is clear, guys. Everybody's hearing this. So Emily does not have any formal training in design. She went from vet and radiology tech into now this position where she is decorating and designing and has now made so many solid connections in this industry that people are actually saying, oh, hey, yeah, I'd like you to come work over here with me. Or, hey, we want to develop this assistant position. Would you be interested? You say more about that?
Yeah, so they're after Christmas, they're planning to hire a assistant for the owner and the lead designer. So I've obviously expressed my interest in that. So I'm working on getting in the race. And then as well, my other coworker, she's a floral designer for about 10 years now. She's handling an entire floral department for a studio, and she's in looking for an assistant as well. And as soon as she said that she has the green light to hire, I'm in. So I'm excited because I do love floral also.
Yes, and I love that. And see here, guys, this is what I want you to see is it's absolutely possible. Even if you've never done it before, you think, oh gosh, that would be too hard. How would I ever find that? And, Emily, she did exactly what I showed her to do. And she followed through on that. And she kept talking to people. She kept leveraging this strategy. And this is what she created. It didn't matter that she hadn't done it before, just didn't matter. And now she's at the stage where it is going to continue to evolve and she has control and choice of what she wants to develop that into.
Mhm.
And so it's just massive. It's huge. So tell us why is just doing this worth it? Why is doing this work, making this investment in yourself, committing to your dream instead of your fear, why is that worth it?
I mean, for me, it was because it changed my whole trajectory. I was going down a dark path with no light, and I kind of just made a pivot. Um, I don't know how long it would have taken me to get to this point if I had done it myself. And it was nice to have the support along the way, telling me, yes, that's right, that works, or no, it should be this way. I really need that feedback. So that was really helpful. Um, I know this is like a small like blip in my life, but I don't want to waste my time anymore. I want to be going for something that matters and makes me happy.
Yeah, exactly. And now you don't have to wait till you're 50 to try and figure that out.
Yeah.
And, if it was a YouTube video or a book that would have fixed it for you, well, then you would have already done that.
Trust me, I've read a lot of books.
Yeah. And that didn't work.
For this.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not going to, because it's so much more complicated. It runs so much deeper than that. And the path is simple, but what you bring to it and the change is just, the ripple effect of that, the magnitude is, it's really, you can't measure that.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. I love that. Okay. So what advice do you have, Emily, for people who are watching, who might be struggling in the same type of situation you are in?
Well, my advice is a job shouldn't be your life. It should complement your life. It should supplement your life. It shouldn't be your life. And like I asked myself, it's like, how much is your happiness worth? Is it worth the salary you're getting? But then like weigh your pros and cons. Is it really worth all of that? And there's a quote that I really like that says, "It's not the it's not the years in your life, it's the life in your years." Um, and I mean, do you want to waste a year or 5 years, 10 years, or get to the end of your life and look back and be like, I wasted all of those years on something I didn't enjoy. I'm not, it's just kind of looking at everything as a whole versus just being in it in the moment kind of thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, guys, don't waste your time. Don't waste your life on
It's not worth
something
it.
you don't have joy in, that's killing your health, that's killing your relationships, where you just get up and you are the paycheck. It's not worth that. And there is another way, and it is possible to actually heal and wake up with energy to have a life that you love.
Yeah. If I had known months ago, leaving my radiology job just for a daytime job would have changed how I felt this much, I would have been out of there so quick. Like I was just so stuck that I couldn't see anything past what I was in. But it's worth taking the chance and taking the risk.
Yeah, exactly. It comes down to that moment where you decide, are you going to be the victor or the victim? Are you going to go for the dream, or are you going to fold under the weight of your fear?
Mm-hmm.
Once you make that decision, your life's going to change, or you're going to repeat the same pattern of suffering. It's when you boil it down to that, it's such a simple choice. And I love, Emily, the courage that you've had to choose the dream, to be the victor, because you chose that, and that's exactly what you are. And you are reaping the reward of it. And I just love that. And I'm so grateful that you're here sharing your story with us today, because people need to see that you can have this. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And what you stand to gain is far more than you can imagine.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing that story. And we will definitely keep up with your updates and all the cool things that you're doing and how you're expanding and growing, because you are positioned to build this career path however you want. And the cool thing is you know how to shape it now, right? If you want something different, cool. You're not going to wait around for some circumstance or someone else to tell you. You know exactly what to do. You've got the tools, you know how to work the mindset, you know where to
Yeah.
get support, you know how to keep evaluating against your must-haves. So
Mm-hmm.
you are in the driver's seat, and you've got tremendous power in being able to choose and shape whatever it is you want. How does that feel?
Amazing.
Celebrate. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for being here with us today and sharing your story. We just
Yes, of course.
and thank you guys for watching. And if you're ready for this, right? If you know it's time to be the victor, stop giving your life away. You want the dream, then come talk to me or a member of my team. I will have the link in this email or whatever is below this video, and come talk to us. Spend an hour with us. It'll be freaking eye-opening.
Oh yeah.
It will be. Yes, and it will serve you to clarity, and we'll figure out whatever it is that's holding you back and whatever it is that you need to move forward. That we will do. Mm-hmm. So it is time to be in the driver's seat, my dears. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, Emily. Bye.
Bye.